Hi, my name is Joe, and I am the founder of Local Pro Helper, as well as the owner of Deptford Fence, located in southern New Jersey. So tell me if you can relate. 2 years ago, I was working 80 hours a week, and my wife was helping to manage the business, working about 60 hours a week. So basically, I was working from sun up to sundown, pretty much 6 to 7 days a week for months on end. The only time that would change is come the winter time when it would start slowing down, so then I would be able to work less hours. But the problem was, even though I was killing myself all year, I didn't have like a nest egg. I basically was making enough to pay the bills and have a tiny bit extra. So when the wintertime came and I could finally start taking a break, what happened was I didn't have enough money. So what I had to do was stress myself out. I end up cutting the pricing to, book more jobs to keep my guys busy. And basically it was just a struggle every single week to basically have enough money in the bank by Wednesday so that way I can pay my employees and everyone else come Thursday. It was a never ending battle. But then fast forward, 2 years, everything's completely different. I personally work 15 minutes a day. My wife works maybe an hour or two at the most per day, just answering questions from the office employees. And we have more money than we ever had. And the funny part is we're actually booked out further than we ever were. And it's all thanks to basically realizing that our business was basically one big math equation. And what I found was there was different sets of numbers where it just didn't make sense what we were doing. We were always doing jobs that they weren't as profitable as they should be, or, we thought they would take 5 hours and they found out that it took like 8 and 9. So, or it turned from one day into a day and a half or 2 days or even more. And what I found was basically we were just working all the time for basically minimum wage. It just didn't make any sense. So what I started doing is just making small changes. Like if we saw something that was glaringly obvious that like we just had to stop. One of those things was just doing custom fence jobs because we just weren't good at it. It would take too much time. I would end up having to be directly involved. And since I was involved, I couldn't focus on the business. I wasn't able to go out to do quotes, those kinds of things that actually make a difference within the business. So once we started making these small changes, we started seeing these improvements. Little by little, I went from 80 hours a week down to like 75 and down to 70, and I was still making the same amount of money, and it kept on dropping and dropping and dropping. And then what we also noticed is that every day, instead of making just say $500 per crew per day, now it was up to like 600, then 700, then 800, and fast forward today, it's closer to $1,700. We're basically 2 to 3 times more profitable per day than we were 2 years ago. And everything that I've learned, it's been basically through trial and error. It's like you tried this. If it worked, great. If it didn't work, it's like, okay, scratch that off the list and we're going to move on to something else to see what else could work for our business. But again, it was always trial and error. And we always had to be willing to take that chance to see if it would work. And again, if it did, great. If not, then, I could have been out a lot of time and money. But at that point, I was at my wit's end. I was up against the wall. I had to figure out how to fix the business because, working 7 days a week, 80 hours a week, months on end, it just wasn't working. I couldn't work any harder. So I had to figure out how to work smarter. So basically, I took all this information I've learned over the past 2 years and basically built a custom program that allows you to see what's going to happen to your business if you make these micro changes. And notice I said micro changes. It's not like I'm saying, disrupt your entire business or spend $50,000 a year on advertising. I'm not saying anything like that. It wasn't anything close to that. It's basically, if you start tracking your jobs and you start saying that, this type of service is more profitable than this type of service, what you start doing is, if they're 50-50 at this point, well, then you go to like 55 and 45%, and then you go to 60 and 40. And you just keep on doing that till you start phasing out the services that just don't make you any money or they take up too much of your time. And there's other programs where it shows you what happens if you start advertising, because that's the one key thing that I realized is that with the advertising, I always thought it cost me money, but what I found out is that it actually was making me money time and time again. And if I didn't advertise, what would end up having to happen is I would have to lower my prices, which meant I was less profitable, which I had to book more jobs with less people coming in the door, basically, which made absolutely no sense. But long story short, there's 7 different programs within this program that basically show you, the first one is key, which is basically a snapshot of your business. It's called the Business Pulse, and it'll show you, based on the time period, how much money you should have made, and then it'll show you how much money you really did make. So then you take that information back to your sales or yourself or whatever, and you start making adjustments. And because you start to see what your numbers actually are, then you can actually start making changes and start making improvements to your business, which is key. Because I know back in 2018, when I was too busy to look at anything or too busy to try to figure anything out, I wasn't making any changes at that point. I couldn't do it. But when you have a program like this, where you literally click a few buttons and it will tell you that if you do this micro change, this is what's going to happen. Well, it makes it much easier to start making those changes. Because what I found, for myself included, when I started this business, I had no idea what I was doing. I basically knew I had to sell the jobs and then basically produce the jobs, install the fences. And basically everything else I was kind of like bundling all together, and basically I ended up with this big ball of mess that was duct taped together. And when you're in the thick of things, you're not willing to make any changes. Like, you don't want any of the duct tape to start coming off this ball, because this ball is your only source of income for most people. So why would you make any changes to it? You'd be too scared to. It's like you might as well just continue working 80 hours a week to just barely make it by. But it doesn't have to be like that. So that's why this program helps. And you can just, again, plug in the numbers, and then it tells you what's going to happen. It's the craziest thing, but it's what has helped me go from, again, 80 hours a week, plus my wife doing 60 hours a week. So it's 140 hours a week, down to us working about 15. Like, it's 90% less, and we're making more than ever before. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Next year, when it comes down, like, everything flows together. Like, it's crazy what we can do. The income that we're making now is about 2 to 3 times higher than what it used to be, for no other reason than we just are working smarter instead of working harder. So if you would like to work smarter and not harder, if you would like to bring in more money working less than you ever have, try this. I'm not saying you're going to become rich overnight, but I'm telling you, you will be able to go from 80 hours a week to 70 or 60 pretty damn quickly. And if you follow the one tool that is the job hour adjuster, it will show you how to go basically from 70 hours a week down to like 30 without any effort. Like, it's literally that simple. It's a few clicks of a button. It will show you what's going to happen. So you'll see the 7 different tools below. And when you get started, it's completely free for the first 7 days. And then after that, for right now, it's only $7 a month. This will change your life, and it's $7 a month. It's literally like 2 cups of coffee. Like, it's that cheap. And if you don't like it at any time, just cancel it. But I'm telling you now, you will see immediate improvements right away, because you're going to be able to see, if I make this micro commitment or micro change, I'm going to have this result because of it. And because you see that result before it happens, you're able to make that change without fearing that you took this duct tape of a mess and started unraveling it. So I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you take me up on this offer. Again, it's 7 days for free and only $7 a month after that. I don't know how long that's going to last. I'm basically looking to get more and more people in here to basically stress test it and see what you like, what you don't like, so I can start making more and more changes to the program. And I just wanted to make it the best I possibly can. So again, I hope you enjoy your day, and I hope to see you within the program. Thanks.